Guys, the insanity unfolding between conservative women on X is truly wild, almost as wild as Lil Tay joining OnlyFans at 12:01 on her 18th birthday, almost as crazy as Trump's new FEMA policy in regards to Israel. All right, guys, we have a lot to discuss today, and I have to apologize in advance because I am having one of those pregnancy days where I feel like my brain is physically shrinking and I am limited on brain cells. So I have a bunch of notes here because I have a lot of points that I want to make because I have a lot of feelings about all of these stories because there's been so much going on online, specifically on X, over the past week. I already feel myself getting riled up. So let's just go ahead and jump in here because, guys, nothing shocked me more this week, maybe I shouldn't even be surprised, than learning about a new FEMA relief requirement quietly added in April by the DHS. But before we get into all of that, make sure that you are following our podcast page and please rate the show if you are enjoying it. It helps us out so much in the algorithm. And if you want to stay up to date on live events, new updates, merch, all of that kind of thing, all of that will be on brettcooper.com. That is the hub for all of that information. So this new FEMA relief requirement is one that states that cities and states could not qualify for FEMA relief, federal funding from FEMA, if they were boycotting Israel. This is exactly what they wrote. It is point D. Discriminatory prohibited boycott means refusing to deal, cutting commercial relations, or otherwise limiting commercial relations, specifically with Israeli companies or with companies doing business in or with Israel or authorized by, licensed by, or organized under the laws of Israel to do business. Now, there is a huge problem here. I don't understand how anybody could look at this as an American and think that this is totally okay and permissible. Because with so many natural disasters that we as a country have faced over the last couple of years, from the Maui fires to the LA fires to the hurricanes to what happened in East Tennessee and West Virginia, everything in Florida that happens basically every single year, to slip in a foreign policy loyalty cause into being able to receive disaster relief is absurd. I mean, it is genuinely appalling. I don't even have the words. Like, disaster aid should be about helping Americans recover. Like, that's the entire point, right? It's not some kind of litmus test on completely unrelated political issues. What is going on in Israel, our feelings about Israel, whether you are pro-Israel or not pro-Israel, whatever it is, that should not determine whether you get support in the wake of a natural disaster. Like the principle itself requires Americans to adopt a certain policy or political position in order to qualify to receive this government service. I mean, that's concerning no matter what the topic is. And it is so hypocritical because all of this new thing that they just slipped in here in April that we all missed, apparently, it comes right after we had massive bipartisan support to ban political discrimination, specifically in regards to FEMA. Like, remember, last year, there was all of that outrage after it was reported that FEMA officials were allegedly telling their employees to skip homes with Trump flags. That was appalling. Right after Hurricane Milton, that was appalling. It was outrageous. This is no better at all. Like, I thought that the goal was to force FEMA not to discriminate based on race and sex and creed and religion, not to discriminate more based on your political leanings or the political leanings of a state or what a state is doing. Like, that genuinely is certifiably insane. Now, all of this came out this week. People noticed it. They were posting that screenshot online. That screenshot that I showed you was from a direct link on the DHS website. And once the public noticed this policy, the DHS removed it almost immediately, and they tweeted about it as if it never existed, despite documentation showing otherwise. Sorry, guys, I just hit the mic. And it was so insane because I'm about to read you this tweet. They posted this tweet saying, no, this never happened. We never did this. Meanwhile, if you clicked on the link to go read that specific document, that clause, that D clause, was still in there. I mean, it was like the gaslighting was just insane from our federal government. Anyway, this is what they tweeted. This is from Homeland Security. There is no FEMA requirement tied to Israel in any current NOFO. No states have lost funding and no new conditions have been imposed. FEMA grants remain governed by existing law and policy and not political litmus tests. DHS will enforce all anti-discrimination laws and policies, including as it relates to the BDS movement, which is expressly grounded in anti-Semitism. Those who engage in racial discrimination should not receive a single dollar of federal funding. Now, if you don't know, the BDS movement, BDS, is boycott, divestment, and sanctions. That is a pro-Palestine movement that has been around since 2005, and all of these laws go back to that specific movement. That is what they're referencing here. So they're saying that they're not going to be discriminating. They're saying that this never existed in the first place. However, they are sort of going to enforce it. They're not really going to tell us how, but it will just be based on what they believe to be discrimination, which honestly is even more vague and concerning than what was originally or not originally written in that document. And the irony is that similar anti-boycott provisions already exist in 34 states, many of which have faced very serious First Amendment challenges, understandably. Because in my opinion, this is absolutely a violation of, the First Amendment and the freedom of expression. Courts in Georgia, Arizona, and others have struck them down. Arkansas's law only survived when the Supreme Court declined to hear an appeal in 2023. So laws like these have been fought and are currently being fought in many, many states. And so the federal government just trying to swoop in here and make this all encompassing when it is already such a controversial policy. It is free expression violating policy is just worrisome to say the least. Like, this is not even about taking a side in a specific issue or in a certain, foreign policy. It is about ensuring disaster relief and government services and ensuring that they are not weaponized to enforce political conformity on any issue whatsoever. Because it shouldn't matter what you believe or who you vote for. Your government should be there to support you in times of natural disaster, regardless of what you believe. That is why they are there. And those agencies should not be able to dictate whether or not you get that support because of, what you support overseas or what flag you're flying. I mean, it is genuinely insane. Like, without this aid, so many people around the country would never be able to get back on their feet. So many people would be drowning in debt. And unfortunately, many hardworking Americans are already facing that. They are drowning in crushing debt, trapped by high interest credit cards, personal loans, medical bills, dealing with the ramifications of these huge natural disasters. But thankfully, my friends over at PDS Debt are here to help. They will step in. And the truth is, guys, creditors profit from keeping people broke and controllable. And my friends over at PDS Debt are here to change that. PDS Debt does more than just help you manage your debt. They empower you to take control. With their technology, they go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation. This is, not a cookie cutter solution. This is just a clear path to financial freedom that fits your situation and your lifestyle. And the best part is, in my opinion, there is no minimum credit score required. I have been there. I have missed credit card payments. My score has suffered. I know what it feels like to be in that situation. And so whether your credit is bad or fair or great, they are here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs in your savings account so that you can be ready for disaster in case FEMA is not there to help you out, apparently. And getting started with PDS Debt is easy, guys. Just go to pdsdebt.com/Brett for your free debt assessment and see what options are available to you. Anyone with enough eligible debt qualifies. Get started with your free debt analysis in just 30 seconds at pdsdebt.com/Brett. Again, guys, that is pdsdebt.com/Brett. They will help you get back on track and get back on your feet. They're great people to work with, and they truly are here to help. I don't know how many times I can say this, but it seems like that's up for debate when it comes to FEMA. Genuinely, they've had no words about this. And the last thing that I will say on this subject is, can you imagine the outrage if the left did something like this with, a country like Canada or in regards to some, progressive political issue, like we saw with the Trump flags? The right would melt down, rightfully so. And so the one positive thing that I did see here is that I'm glad that we kept the same energy when it was something from our own side. I'm really glad that we were willing to call out the hypocrisy and call out the fact that our government was not being consistent, that this is, stepping, outside of the bounds of what FEMA should be dictating and deciding to do, especially after BLM and COVID and going through all of that in 2020, going through all of these insane social justice warrior things where we're told that we have to believe one thing, we have to, pass these political litmus tests, all of this, like, people are tired. We are tired of being attacked and canceled or whatever it is for being concerned and asking genuine questions about America and the issues that we support and its allies and our priorities. Most of all, like whether we are actually putting America first. Like and I'm saying this because I'm guessing that you guys probably agree, I don't know, but like me personally, I voted for Trump. I wanted him to be elected because I wanted to put somebody in office who would put America first in everything, who would work for Americans and would work to protect us, and holding him accountable is completely permissible and necessary. I think that there's a lot of great stuff that Trump has been doing. I think that he is right that we have had a historic first 6 months, especially in regards to the border and immigration. I think that the economy is getting better based on what I'm seeing, even though the left is, hell-bent on saying that it's not. And so I know that there are good things happening, and we have to keep that energy. I want to push him to stay on track. I want to hold him accountable, whether it is in regards to this or Epstein and not flipping on that. I want to hold him accountable to what he promised us and what Americans so desperately want. And honestly, what we deserve after years and years of chaos. Now, while we are on the topic of infighting, I'm just going to take a deep breath because I think this next story is even crazier. While we are on the topic of infighting, we need to talk about what is going on in the right-wing girl boss, trad wife, I don't even know, corner of X right now, because they are melting down. So all of this started when a girl posted a photo of her engagement ring and she said that she'd gotten engaged. So I want to lay out these cast of characters for you because I was trying to explain this to Alex. I was trying to explain this to a couple of people on my team. I was like, guys, we have to talk about this, but it was so convoluted. So in case you have not been following this insane scandal that has been unfolding for days, these are the cast of characters. Okay, so the beef online that we are seeing is between a girl named Sarah Stock. She is the one who got engaged and posted her ring. Pearl Davis, just Pearly Things on X. There she is right there. Emily Wilson, who goes by Emily Saves America online. And Morgan Ariel, who is another conservative MAGA trad style influencer. There's her photo. Sorry, that took a second. There she is. So these are all conservative, I'm saying that with really serious air quotes, MAGA, right-wing, trad-ish influencers. That's just what you need to know. And this entire scandal started with this post. So Sarah Stock, who has not talked about publicly being in a relationship, has not talked about, that's really just the whole point. She posted this photo of her hand with a ring on it, and she says, I won. So she is announcing that not only is she in a relationship, which people didn't know, but she also is engaged. I did the same thing. Nobody really knew that I was dating Alex, and then I popped up and I was like, hey, actually, I'm getting married. We're getting engaged. So anyway, she did that. And this post should not have been controversial at all. She had a funny caption, I won. I don't know if she's saying that, to dunk on other women, or she's saying that she won because she's getting married and she loves her fiance. Whatever it is, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's so nice. That's great. This should not have been controversial in the slightest, but right-wing feminists, MAGA, whatever they are, they exploded for a myriad of reasons online, but the conversation quickly became about the size of her ring. And it was specifically fueled by this comment from Emily. She just said the ring size with the dead emoji, which means LOL. And guys, this is where it really gets juicy. All hell broke loose from here. And I'm not going to read every word in all of these tweets because they are so graphic and there are things that I don't even want to say online, but I will have my producer flash them up on screen. You can pause these, you can read them, you can enjoy them. But if you have children watching in the background, I know a lot of you guys sit with your kids and watch this. This might not be the episode. You might want to turn this off or cover their ears because what is going on with these women is insane. All right, so Morgan Ariel, that's one of the girls we talked about, she quote tweeted that comment from Emily Saves America, and she said, you give it up for free, ho, might want to sit this one out. So she's saying you shouldn't even be commenting on this or about her ring size. You give it up for free. She's getting married. She's staying in her lane, whatever, sit this one out. And then Pearl jumps back in. She had already been tweeting about Sarah and the ring and her marriage and all of that stuff. Pearl jumps in. She responds to Morgan and says, Morgan, you are a single mother with a public video admitting that you have HPV. You may want to sit this one out too. And then Morgan responds with that. which I will let you guys read on your own time. And then Emily jumps right back in. Again, guys, these are conservative female influencers, conservative in quotes, air quotes. Emily says, Morgan, your baby daddy abandoned you. You're raising a bastard child, but yet somehow, some way you think you're better than me or anyone on this app. You gave it up for free, got left in the dust, and now post rage bait on X to supplement the inadequacy of your monthly child support payments. Like now this is like the cuts are going deep. Like these women are lashing out. They are basically trying to dunk on each other. Like who is the most hoe of all of the hoes? Who is the least trad? It is like, instead of like, this is like the reverse of what the left does. Like the left will try to dunk on each other and they will try to be so morally superior. I'm more politically correct. I've done all these things. I've donated to these causes. I posted the black square. I do all the right things. I go to the right protests. On the right, it's just like, you are a hoe. You do this. You do whatever. It's just like tearing people down. Anyway, that's sort of what's happening. And then this is just where, this is the doozy. This was like the tweet to end all tweets. You would think that it all peaked here, but it just kept going. So Morgan then responds and she says, she's talking to Emily. Oh my God. None of that is true, Emily. But unlike you, I don't lie. So here are some facts. Oh my God, I can't even believe I'm going to read this. No, Max, you can put this back on screen. People need to see this. Let's bring it back. I'm so sorry. You were engaging in sexual acts, I would say, in the middle of a hotel lobby at a TPUSA event while everyone around you watched and there were families around. You brag about having sex with married MAGA dads and doing drugs. You have been completely ran through by both single and married men in the right wing. You call young virgins losers and encourage them to have premarital sex, and you are pro-abortion. That's true. You are a disgusting feminist, or, oh my God, with a Jezebel spirit, who uses filters in all of her videos and lives in rebellion to God while grifting off of the conservative movement and simultaneously trashes women who desire to live, to love God-honoring lifestyles. To live God-honoring lifestyles because their engagement rings didn't cost enough or their lifestyle isn't flashy enough. But yeah, I'm the one who needs money, you gold-digging hoe. Oh my God. And guys, it only took off from there. That was like 48 hours ago, and we are still talking about this. The tweets are still flying. The comment sections are still popping off. Now, it seems like at this point, the entire right wing has, commented on what I'll call like Ringgate. They are either like debating the value of an engagement ring and how big an engagement ring should be, whether men, should propose with a ring pop or actually get something, more expensive, and the values behind that. They're debating that. They're also talking about the values or lack thereof, I would say, of these influencers who are tweeting. And so I've been trying to think about how I feel about all of this and what I want to say, because obviously I wanted to talk about because it's funny, and per usual, things that happen online in the real world are far more dramatic and funnier, in my opinion, than reality TV. Like, this is basically Jerry Springer. This is hilarious. But I think that there is a bigger point here that we should discuss. And a couple things are true. First of all, unfortunately, women are going to women. They are going to lash out. They're going to be petty and jealous. They're going to be competitive. They're going to do all of this for attention online, which ironically, just to bring this back up, Emily tweeted about before all of this started. She had a tweet where she said, women just hate other women and it boils down to jealousy. It's that simple. And yet she was one who was trashing this girl because of the size of her ring. Now, another point that I want to make about ring sizes, just for any of the guys out there or girls who are now looking at their rings or thinking about getting engaged, whatever, in my opinion, it's like every situation is different. Every relationship is different. Your values and your priorities, even down to what kind of ring you want or like, or different. So just do you. Just do what makes you happy and tune everybody else out and stop shaming people for the size of their rings and their choices. Like, you genuinely can't win. If you get a quote unquote real natural diamond and it's all you can afford, and so you get a really small one, that's wonderful, but people will still maybe make comments. But I also see things online where people get like a moissanite or a lab grown ring or some other kind of gemstone, and it's like a really big ring and they're posting about it. And then you have people in the comments who are responding and going, I can tell that it's fake because you could never afford it. It's just like, oh my gosh, let people live. Let people live. It does not matter. It is just a ring. Like, prioritize it however you want to. That is a decision between you and your future spouse. Like, this does not even need to be a big conversation. But unfortunately, or fortunately for us and my own enjoyment, this did turn into a bigger conversation, which I think is worth having. And, you know, these people, these women who are tweeting, these might be quote unquote right-wing, trad, MAGA, conservative influencers, but what we're seeing online right now, these are certainly not conservative actions. The way that all of this is being posted about, the language that is being used, the sexual degeneracy that they are all being accused of, the manner of posting, like none of that is conservative. But I think the bigger issue is people right now don't even know what conservative values are anymore. And a lot of people have warned Republicans about that. Like, as you expand the big tent, these values are going to become eroded. We're not going to even know what we believe anymore. And unfortunately, those people were completely accurate. Like, I personally have spent so much time this year talking about the left losing its way, not being genuine, not being authentic, losing touch with its party, especially young people, the values being all over the place, having like naked people at pride parades, but then having like Gavin Newsom with his like perfect, like coiffed blonde family that is like the complete antithesis to what you see like naked in the streets. Like everything is just insane and chaotic. But that also, I'm sorry, is what has happened on the right. Like you have MAGA, you have Christian conservatives, you have conservatives who aren't necessarily religious, you have libertarians who got involved, you have people from the left who joined in because they liked Tulsi or RFK Jr., whatever it may be, and everybody is fighting for dominance in regards to their values. And there's so much chaotic, confusion that nobody really knows what to believe. And a lot of these people will grift and leech onto these labels for money and attention online when they aren't actually living the values that are attached to that label that they have now assigned themselves, if that makes sense. Sorry, I think that this is probably getting kind of jumbled, but I'm trying to get to a point here. Like, these alleged stories about these women and women like them and things that happen at these conferences, which I have attended as a student, I've spoken at, like, these aren't new to me, unfortunately. Like, this is not shocking information, and it's not just women. Like, I hear stories about men going to these conferences and cheating on their wives, straight men getting to these conferences and going on Grindr and hooking up with dudes. I did a whole interview with my friend Amir, and we talked about the hypocrisy and what he sees as a gay man at so many of these conferences.